So hello there. I guess, because we're seeing this here now, you figured it out. Today is a chemtrail day. So yeah, I'll just play a couple of clips here. Maybe record some more audio inside and then add any other clips I can find. I mean, yeah, this is normal, right? I ran into our MP, Richard Cannings, while walking downtown. When I called him out about this again, oh, I so longed to have gotten that on camera. He just pretended I wasn't there, ignored me. That's normally what MPs are supposed to do with their constituents, right? Well, anyway, let's get to it.
Numerous air quality studies, including from CARB, California Air Quality Resource Board, have named submicron-sized particulates as being particularly harmful for human respiration. Through all the discussions today, I have not heard any mention of this fallout, and has this been studied, and also the effects of a highly reactive metal like aluminum on toxifying soils and waters?
The question is, what would be the effects of these materials on human health if they came down into the stratosphere, in particular small particles and aluminum?
So the collaborators of mine working on the aerosol scheme are actually folks from Carnegie Mellon who focused on human health impacts. And while we haven't published it, that was the very first thing we did. And while we haven't published it, that was the very first thing we did. And while we haven't published it, that was the very first thing we did, was do the order of magnitude calculation in level pencil and paper, but with an expert on human health impacts about whether there could be an issue.
So, yeah, we go like a week without chemtrails, and then boom, they hit us. X marks the spot. Hey, Richard Cannings, MP of the Okanagan or whatever. Does that look like normal flight paths to you? Genius? Hey? Or were you warned about all this happening in the local Freemason lodge, eh? There, bud? Because that's not normal. Anyone who thinks these chemtrails are normal doesn't have a brain, or wants to believe whatever the state tells them because it's easy and they're lazy and weak. But this is disgusting, you know. I don't know what the deal is. It's like 5 days nothing, 5 days on, 5 days off. That's at least the last half month. God forbid we get any sunlight, eh, Richard Cannings?
Aerosol geoengineering looks like it is so cheap that the cost is basically not going to be an issue. That means that implementation decisions will be risk-to-risk decisions. The risk of doing it against the risk of not doing it. And it makes the problem of how we govern it fundamentally harder and different and novel. So I've told you that it's cheap to deliver materials to the stratosphere, and I'm convinced that's true. I don't think that will change. But I think the more we do research, the less easy this will look, the more complicated the environmental effects will look, and that's a good thing, because right now it looks too easy. So I think that if we do more research, we're likely to find out that it's harder and more complicated than we thought, and the side effects are harder to manage, and that's a healthy outcome that will make it easier to do the management. Of course, the opposite reaction is possible. It's an empirical question, how people will actually react to knowledge about this. Another reaction is to say, if these crazy scientists are so concerned about putting CO2 in the atmosphere, they want to think about these things, then that might actually mean we should be more serious about the risks of CO2 in the atmosphere. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard, it's more like free riding on our grandkids.
So, yeah. Apparently, these goofs just can't help themselves. Hey, Richard Cannings, MP of the Okanagan, where I live. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure you're being told this is to help fight climate change. Let's spray all this poison, huh? Yeah, okay. I picture a bunch of Air Force guys sitting around a hangar somewhere. Maybe they're just Freemason Luciferians and this is an actual ritual they enjoy putting on people. Or maybe, like I said, they're just being told it's to help fight climate change. But that's not normal. And anyone who thinks it is probably retarded. But I just picture these goofs sitting around a hangar, you know. It's like, what are you going to do today, bud? Well, you know, I was just going to sit around the hangar and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. But why don't we get up there in one of the jets and just spray the piss out of these peons? Yeah, let's get them. Let's poison them. Yeah. Useless eaters. Let's get rid of them. Yeah. Maybe while we're at it, we'll do some Project Bluebeam or fake some Northern Lights or, you know, just poison them some more. Nice work, Richard Cannings. Way to sign off on this, you goof.
So that's why we see things like in the used aircraft patent from '89, they talk about aluminum. And that's why we're seeing in the surface water samples aluminum. And here's David Keith saying that aluminum has 4 times the reflective volume surface area. So they'd like us to think that we're talking about sulfur, but here they slipped up and let it out that aluminum is 4 times better to achieving their ends, and it sounds like it's going to be one they don't want us to know the effects of.
The little picture is from a nanofabrication study, which shows you can make very high quality, and do this in just a jet in a very simple way, make high quality alumina particles just by spraying aluminum vapor out, which oxidizes. So it's certainly in principle possible to do that, and there's a big literature that's already looked at that. And you could do that by either building new versions of these aircraft or even re-engineering existing aircraft. So there's some ideas of that. So you go to an engineering firm and you want this done. They don't say this is hard or unusual. They say, okay, yes, we could do it.
So yeah, people think this is normal. I just saw our MP downtown here, Richard Cannings, walked by him and asked him if he's enjoying the chemtrails. He wouldn't even look up and he says, oh yeah, mocking me. If you think that's normal, then you're part of the epidemic of morons.
Because there's literally aluminum and barium contamination found around the world, believed to be from these programs.
Like look today over the Capitol, looks like they're deploying some type of aerosol. Did you see it?
No, I didn't, but good to see you.
Many people are deeply concerned about it because of the toxicity of aluminum, and it has been addressed to Congress in various committees. Would you take a look at a letter from some of your constituents addressing the concerns? Okay, are you aware of the issue? You do it through the...
Are you in support of those proposals? What is your take?
I don't know anything about it.
You're not.
I have to get more information. I've got a chair here.
Okay, we'll give you a letter on that.
Yeah, this is a letter from constituents.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Excellent. And many people believe that these programs have already been deployed because mass contamination has been found. Geo Engineering programs, stratospheric. Yeah.
So yeah, as you can see by that clip, most of them refuse to talk about it or even acknowledge it. And I don't think they're allowed to. I don't think they're as powerful as people think. Maybe they're on the payroll. I don't want to, bear false witness, but speculating. And as far as the whole topic, they might be thinking that they're heroes, protecting us from climate change. But heroes don't let themselves get bought and paid for. And so whether they're fronting a lie about climate change or not, this poison is here. It's like a warfare tactic. Like that sundog there in the sky, which is a whole other topic what that proves, but yeah. Pressure your local MPs and congressmen about chemtrails. Get them on film doing it. I don't know. That would have been so cool if I'd gotten Cannings on film today. But whatever. That's all I gotta say about that. So peace out.